All right.
Happy Monday, y'all. Hope y'all had a great weekend and saw a little snow flurry on Friday and just a little. It didn't stick much, but
Yeah.
I know up in north it did stick a little bit. So, but it's been cold.
Okay. Obviously, we're chilly this morning, but good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of our weekly real estate backstory. My name is Alan Richardson. I'm the managing broker at Maximum Realty and Realtor Partners.
My name is Ming Richardson. I'm the compliance broker for Maximum One Realty and Realtor Partners.
So, and we're very glad that you joined us today. We kind of want to jump off and we got a lot of cool information to share with you guys today. Kind of bring you up to speed on a lot of different things. This is what we do every Monday morning around 9 o'clock. So,
why do we do it?
Because we want to keep you guys informed and well, yeah, you did, but it's very, very important that we know what's going on in the market, because like the only constant that we truly have in real estate right now is change.
Absolutely.
And so that's why we put these out there. Originally we started these with COVID, which coincidentally was 2 years ago today. Like 2 years ago is when COVID hit the US. And so,
or publicly it was announced.
Yeah. And so, real estate really hasn't been the same since. If you think about like I remember when we're like, oh, what's it going to do kind of thing. Is this really going to be a big deal? I think everyone was really skeptical at first. And then all of a sudden, wham, we shut down everything. And then all of a sudden, wham, everything blew back up again on the real estate sector kind of thing. And so it's been a very, very interesting ride that we've had for these last 2 years with COVID. And so it's not going to change as far as how things are evolving, what's happening in our market. So staying engaged and involved and knowing what's really going on out there and then communicating this to our clients, that's so important with everything that we've got going on right now. One of the things is that like if you watch out there in the news, people are going to start trying to scare you.
The sky's falling. The sky's falling.
Well, and so, like I'm going to share a few headlines with you here that you guys can see out there. And so, first one is, of course, will the U.S. housing market crash in 2022? And is that a question that you need to not just put your
hand
be prepared, like you need to be prepared for handling these kind of questions, because this is what our clients are going to be wondering, because is the market going to crash? Here's two others kind of thing. Existing home sales decline amid listing shortage. Surprising economists. Metro Atlanta housing market ends year with higher prices, fewer sales. Now, all that looks really kind of scary, right? But that's not really the true story. Okay. So like our December is one of the best Decembers we've pretty much ever had. And did it end up down? Yes. Why did it end up down? Availability. We don't have enough inventory. We haven't had enough inventory. If we had yin inventory, we would have sales out the yin yang right now. And that continues to be an issue. Now, are we going to see a lot of things going on with interest rates? We're probably going to talk a lot about interest rates today, because that is going to be impacting our business kind of thing. But still, we have such a huge demand. And let's talk about where that demand is really coming from. First of all, we've been making babies faster than we've been building houses for years. Supply hasn't met demand on building new construction for like 15 years now.
And that's because during downturn in market, nobody was building, but yet we're still producing children. And so, now the production is catch up with us in demand.
Yep.
So,
and so, the other thing that goes in there is like, not only can we not build enough, or haven't we been building enough, we can't build enough right now. We have a shortage of about 5 million households in the US. However, we can only build about 1 million a year, 1.1 million, something in that range. So at the same time, we have the millennial generation, which is our largest generation now. They're all between 35 and say 28, roughly. Well, the average first-time home buyer age is 32. So they're all moving into first-time home buyer age at the same time. So, just out of sheer supply versus demand, can the market just crash? Can it tank? No. Now, are interest rates going to be a challenge for people? Absolutely, moving forward. Is that going to make our market be a little bit more stable? Yeah, it sure will. How about foreclosures? Are those going to go through the roof? Well, I mean, right now, folks have so much equity in their home. Would you let your house be foreclosed on, or would you just sell it?
No, you would sell and get the equity out and then do something else with it. If not, you are guaranteed for rent for next 2 or 3 years.
Yep. See, one of the things that we got to be looking at here is, as all these headlines come out, We have to be the solution, not the problem. Okay. Is the news ever going to be our friend in real estate? No, because no one's ever going to be like, hey, everything in real estate is going great, news at 11 kind of thing. That doesn't happen. So what do we need to do? First of all, when to be part of the solution, and it really starts with we need to be able to kind of combat our clients' emotions, right? And so that falls in our responsibility to reach out and engage our clients, whether it's through email, calling them up on the phone, social media posts. We need to be talking about what's really going on with real estate. Yeah. And then we also need to be educating them ahead of the market conditions. We've been telling folks for months, look, interest rates are rising. You need to get ready now. Get pre-approved now. If you've watched this thing that we do every single week, we've been saying, get your clients pre-approved. It's really coming up. We need to get it. Now's the time to buy. We've been saying for months, now's the time to buy. It's going to be, and so now we got folks who are all of a sudden going, right? So we got to get ahead of these market conditions and be educating our folks. And then we need to make sure that we're protecting our business. And we do that by, there's a lot of disruptors in our real estate space. Don't get me wrong, 70% of something is better than 100% of nothing. I'm not completely knocking it. But when for the challenge for a lot of real estate agents and realtors is that they go out and they engage with a lot of these different programs, which I'm not knocking, but then that's all they do. And
it's
so
programs.
And so if you're getting all of your leads from Opcity or Zillow or Veterans United, I'm not knocking any of these, but if that's your only lead source, and then you're always going to be giving 30 to 40%, 40, 50% of your commissions away, depending on the transaction. And so that's a lot of money out of your pocket for these when you should really be focusing on growing your business, not on necessarily growing theirs. So it's okay if you're going to start off with that, but don't get stuck into that trap where they just really.
Well, the thing is that you should have multiple sources of income. Opcity, Agent Pronto, Veteran United should be your what I call a bonus, but you should be pursuing your core business, which is referrals.
Yeah, because see, the bottom line here is that even like annual existing home sales hit the highest mark since 2006. So existing home sales, and then also if you look at projected sales and upcoming sales, we're in really, really, really good shape. So don't let the news scare your clients. Don't let them freak you out. It's not going to be good. Whenever we start talking about interest rates, and we're going to go there more.
What makes news?
Yeah.
Headlines.
Yeah.
Good. So if you don't have a headline, what's the reward?
Yeah.
Nothing.
All right. I want to talk, or we want to kind of jump over here into being able to really look at home buyers today versus technology. And so, National Association of Realtors, they released their profile of home buyers and sellers. And one of the things that came out that's really, really interesting is how many homes buyers are looking at now versus in the past. And when you look at this graph, you'll see that our buyers today are looking at less homes than they ever have. And all of a sudden my brain's like blowing up, like, hold on, we're putting in multiple offers, we're competing for properties. How are we looking at less properties?
They're settling.
Well, in part they might be settling, but the other thing is that it used to be we had so much inventory, and it's kind of like, do I like this one? Do I like this one? Do I like this one? And kind of going through and that kind of stuff. They would go and look at a lot of different properties. Now these are how many homes that they're looking at in person. Now they don't look at all these homes with just their agent, but they are going in, that counts open houses and that kind of stuff that they look at. And the average is 8 homes that they actually go see personally. And that number is the lowest that it's ever been. And it's kind of hard to get your head around it. But if you think about it, home buyers today, do they have the luxury of being like, you know what, we'll sleep on it? Or how about, we'll just we'll just keep looking. There'll be another one tomorrow. Well, that's not necessarily the case. So our buyers today really do know that it is, we have to move. We have to take, when that property comes up, we've got to take advantage of it.
The opportunity window is smaller for them.
And
so therefore they're making a choice based on the best availability.
And so for a lot of agents, they've been, it's really tough to be a buyer's agent, but actually it's actually pretty interesting when you look at, it's actually, we're showing less homes now than we have in the past. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't have those clients that we've shown a dozen homes to, and we keep getting outbid and things like that. Some of that is we just have to adjust expectations. And that's going to be a big thing we have going forward.
The consultation, whether for listing or buying, if you do both of them well, I promise you, your transaction will be much smoother. But of course, there's always clients that are a little more apprehensive. If you would just reassure them based on the information given and the climate of your transaction, 9 out of 10 would help the situation.
Yep. Well, the other thing is setting clear expectations of when we're in an environment where interest rates are rising. As those interest rates rise, the purchasing power of the buyers is going to go down. And so if they're out looking at properties that's at the absolute top of their price range, one, they're going to get outpriced, and two, that really gives them very little wiggle room on there.
Absolutely.
Our buyers are using more and more tech. So in 2021, half of our buyers found their home online. 95% are using home search processes, CRMs, databases, things like that. We've got to make sure we're using them. This is what our clients are using. And so, again, we were talking about some of the portals earlier. Do I want them to find their home on Zillow, or do I want them to find their home on my website? Well, I want them to find their home on my website. Now, one other interesting thing that came out from the same study here is how long are our buyers searching for? And this is another one that has gone down. The average time spent once that buyer says, we're ready to buy, let's go do this, the average time searching is 2 months, 8 weeks. And it's not the lowest, but it's one of the lowest that we've had since 2000. Basically, was the last time that the number of weeks searching for a property was less. So it's been 22 years since it's been this low. And so, but this is indicative of the same thing we were talking about. Do you have that chance to, are you going to let a good house slip by you right now? I mean, if you're out actively looking in the market, and even with rising interest rates, that's not going to change. So Fannie Mae released their economic housing and outlook kind of thing. And so they're calling for rising mortgage rates and home prices. They're calling for home prices to drop by 3.2%. Now it's 3.2% from the increase, not a 3.2 lift in home sales. I'll show you that in a second. But you can kind of see that as far as just the number of sales going on, their projection for 2022 as well as 2023 is really still extremely high kind of thing. If you look at what they're projecting as far as for home price appreciation by quarter, and so you can see that Q1 they're looking at 15%. I think that might be a bit aggressive. I think we're going to be closer
we're
to
seeing some
8 to
appraisers
10.
are coming back much lower than the asking price. Well, no, not necessarily, because we're still getting offers above asking price. And so when the appraiser comes back, you may see a little dent on the highest and best.
Yeah. So, I mean, but do I see us running 15% through first quarter? I'd say we're probably going to be closer to 10%, and then we're going to be tapering down as the year goes along. I think they're a little bit aggressive on there, and a lot of that is really because if you look at what their mortgage rate forecast, this is the mortgage rate forecast for both Fannie Mae as well as the Mortgage Bankers Association. And so you can see the Mortgage Bankers Association a little bit more aggressive, and Fannie Mae based their numbers on they're looking at Q1 being 3.2, and we're already at 3.5. So I think the Mortgage Bankers Association is a little bit closer on that. And then as those interest rates rise, that is going to cool off housing. I mean, it's not going to freeze housing.
It's going to cool off housing in a sense of price point.
Yeah.
But not necessarily the demand for housing.
Right. Because no matter what, we still have a lot of people that want to own a home, but it is going to, and this is going to be a shift for our sellers, right? Because our sellers have been we've been through years of really big price appreciations. That's not going to be. And so for the folks who are we'll wait to sell, they need to be looking to put this thing on the market now, kind of thing,
before the interest rate goes up.
Yep. As interest rates go up, that will taper off demand. So we had mortgage rates that jumped for the third straight week. So, we came in this past week at we're coming in this week at 3.56. We're seeing some lenders who are coming in at 3.7, 3.65, that kind of stuff, depending on what's going on. Since the beginning of the year, we've jumped pretty substantially, kind of thing. Over last year, we were at 2.77, which is one of the lowest rates we've ever had. And so, on one hand, you think, wow, 3.56, that's scary.
It's not.
Okay. Like here's where interest rates are. Okay. And are we in a rising environment?
Yes.
Absolutely. But if you've been around any time at all, how was real estate in 2019, 2018? It was great. Okay. We did really, really good. It was a really strong time in real estate. So, is the Fed throwing a little bit of cold water on the market? They are, but that's because they're trying to combat inflation. That's going to continue to be an issue with the Fed. The Fed, mortgage rates follow the 10-year treasury, and we're seeing where the Fed has tapered off buying 10-year treasury, and the market's reacting to that. So, yeah, we are going to continue to see mortgage rates rise. Now, also, the Fed is probably going to be doing between 4 and 7 interest rate hikes. Right now, the federal funding and borrowing rate is going to be, or it's currently 0. And so they're going to start tapering that up because they want to slow
I don't think
inflation down.
Most people understand. So the bank borrow money from the federal government. So right now, the borrow interest rate from the bank to the government is 0. So as federal government raise the interest rate, guess what the banker's going to do? They're going to raise their interest rate above what they're able to borrow from federal government. So that's where.
But that doesn't necessarily directly affect mortgages, because mortgages basically follow the 10-year treasury.
It does.
But that doesn't mean that these changes aren't going to impact the overall economy and everything going on. When the Fed raises their funding rate, things like amount of people that, companies that owe money, other countries that owe money, those interest rates start going up, and that's gonna create more economic turmoil kind of going forward. But right now we're and it really comes down to inflation running at 7%. We've not seen that since the 80s. This is the Fed trying to control that, and so they're going to keep doing that until they see prices starting to regulate, and then they're going to pull back a little bit more at that point. But we've probably got between 4 and 7 rate hikes. They've already stopped all the bond purchases that they've been doing, and so that is going to drive us, kind of thing. And so this is where the Fed 9, there's 9 bankers around the U.S. that make up the Fed, and of course Powell, he's the head guy, but everybody kind of gets, they all kind of vote and talk this thing through, and you can see that they're all heading that way. The question is, how many of those are we going to have? Don't know right now. The average size of a mortgage, of course, hit record highs, and so that of course that they kind of go together. And this really shouldn't be that big of news, because our property values have increased year over year in double digits almost in places, and so therefore, are the mortgages going to go up? Yeah, absolutely. The other cool thing, though, is that the average down payments have also increased. Here in the Atlanta area, our average down payment is $41,000, and so that's a pretty healthy. We are the 22nd largest down payment of any of all the metros of the 50 largest metros in the United States. So we're not the top, but we're not near the bottom either.
But if you look at our income is actually higher than the one above or below, which is good.
Yeah. So now on the negative side here, we got about 5 million borrowers that missed their chance to do refis. Now there's still another 6 million people or so out there who could still take advantage of these rates based on where they were. But if they don't move quickly, and if you have the chance to talk to your folks about things like this, like if they're going to refi, they better refi now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait till next week. Interest rates are not going back down. Okay. And that's one thing that we need to be screaming about from the rooftops. Okay. Interest rates are not going back down. This is not transitory. We're not going to see a drop in the interest rates. They're not going to start, the Fed is not going to start buying 10-year treasuries the way that they have been doing. That's not going to happen. And so we need to let folks know that, that it's not, hey, let's wait and lock in. Hey, let's wait and refinance. That's not going to happen. So please protect your clients, help them out. We still have some lenders who will lock rates even without a property. We want to get them kind of going, because once you lock a rate, the clock is on. They've really got to be active about going out and finding that home. And so that's the other thing that we've kind of seen, is that home buyers now are rushing to get mortgages. Okay. And so, yeah, it went up. In, like I said, in a lot of places, 3.64 kind of thing. So refis dropped, but purchase applications jumped by 8% last week. And so that's kind of a, I don't know, oxymoron a little bit, because interest rates go up, demand goes up. But this is where I think folks kind of got caught, like thinking that, okay, maybe it's going to go back down. I mean, we've been seeing it tapering up all through the fall of last year. We saw it inching up into the threes, and now we're into the mid threes. And so folks are finally starting to heed our warnings and our advice. So again, please let folks know, lock them in, get out there, get engaged, kind of thing. All right. Starter homes continue to be the biggest draw for first-time buyers, kind of thing. And I want to talk about starter homes, because starter homes is what we need to get folks into real estate. Like if you already have an existing home to sell, and if you sell and buy, then you've captured all that equity that you've been growing. So, are there great deals on the buy out there? No, there aren't, but you've already captured all that equity growth.
So expect the other person to do the same.
Yeah, but for first time buyers, they haven't captured any equity growth. And so that's why we're seeing a real draw to first time and starter homes, kind of thing. And that's going to continue to be, regardless of what's going on in interest rates, the whole 9 yards. First time starter homes, smaller homes are going to be on fire. Okay. Even as we see, I'm expecting we're going to start seeing other price point segments slow more significantly than we will. Don't think that properties, in the 175 to 250 are still going to be on fire. Okay, because that's where we're seeing a lot of, and we need to get them in there. And that's healthy for housing, and it's healthy for them. If they're not part of the game, then they're getting left out. And wealth in the United States is tied up in home ownership. And so, will they get everything that they want on that starter home? No, they won't, kind of thing. But a starter home is exactly what that is. That's what gets them into home ownership.
Absolutely.
Kind of thing. So, for a lot of folks, it helps them ease into home ownership. It lets them try out new locations.
Not only that, listen, rent is going up every month, and it's crazy.
Yep. We'll talk about rent too.
Yeah.
So, but as far as like what are our buyers looking for in their first home? Well, a lot of them, which is really interesting, smart home tech, which has not really made the list in the past. Hardwood floors, kitchen islands, open floor plans, those have been there for years, but smart home technology,
Alexa, Amazon Ring, your Nest. I mean, all those are a touch of a button with a cell phone, and then you're good to go.
Yep. So, all right, okay. All right. HUD has announced that they're giving an early chance to owner occupant buyers. And so it's not there. Chance to owner occupant buyer. Please stop. And so what you just did, I apologize, but now
it looks like you have two Facebook.
No, it didn't. You've got to stop. Okay, I apologize. I don't know what we just did there, kind of thing. So we're going to try and get back on point here. My lovely bride decided to start messing with the screens, so I hope that you're all still there. We're going to jump back in here to go into HUD. Okay. Yeah, we are very real. So HUD has extended the time frame for early occupants out there. or for first time buyers kind of thing, for owner occupants and not early occupants. See, I'm completely messed up now.
His train
Anyway,
of thought's
yeah,
distracted.
completely fried. The
So
brain is not,
basically, HUD's giving a first-time owner occupant a little more earlier chance.
30 days now.
So to bid on the
Yeah, it
property.
used to be they had 15 days,
Mhm.
but now that's going out to 30 days, which is really, really good. I'm glad to see that. But but you know, really the chance or the oh, let me make sure I'm still sharing the right screen here, kind of thing. You know, is the fact that, I mean, let's face it. Okay, I pulled up the list of HUD homes.
This is all we got.
And this is the number of HUD homes for sale in the state of Georgia.
That's it.
You're welcome. So there's 7 of them. Okay, so we got one in Paulding, one in Coffee County. We have one in Fulton County, kind of thing. So and it's a 2-bedroom. So you know, it
2-1.
So you know, this is indicative of what's happening in our market. HUD homes are nothing but FHA mortgages that got foreclosed on. And how many foreclosures do we have? Well, foreclosure levels are the lowest it's ever been. And even if you do have to sell, you're going to sell and take that equity right now. So that's not probably going to be a great turn for us, just being straight up. I am glad to see HUD attempting, but let's face it, there's not a lot of HUD inventory out there. You know, there's a new report out from Knock, and they said the top millennial markets in the United States, Atlanta comes in at number 5, which I found to be really interesting. We hadn't been that high on the millennial front for quite a while, kind of thing. And so, you know, seeing Atlanta move on up and be more appealing to millennials, because right now that is our largest buying segment, is millennials. There's more. It's our largest segment of Americans right now. So that's a good thing for us, and it shows good signs. A couple of fraud things I kind of want to cover really quickly with you here, kind of thing. So we had a lady in Atlanta whose deed was stolen, and then they went in and tore her home down, kind of thing. And this is, you know, like this is really terrible. But what happens is, so you know, her name is Linda Willis, and so someone that is named Sincera Willis came in and presented fake documents saying that she was the executor for the property, and that was given rights to it, and then they went in and sold the property out from underneath her.
What's amazing is that I'm sure there was a death certificate that was presented in order to be
there's fraud going on, kind of thing.
So, you know, if you see something going on that looks wonky or fishy, please call the court, because they have the record.
Well, a couple of things though, like as weird as it sounds, one of the things that you can do that helps protect this is to keep a small mortgage on your property. Now, one, you still get to be able to write some of that off. So I'm not saying go get big amounts or anything like that. But if you do have a mortgage on your property, that would have protected her. You know, the thing is, yeah, because what these folks are doing is they're going by and they're finding properties that are sitting vacant. They're finding properties that have been damaged, properties that have been there for a long time, and things like that. And so most of the time, those are fully paid for properties, and then they're going in behind the scenes, and it really is terrible, kind of thing. And so we have to be very, very careful. Not we. I mean, I hate that there's these scammers out there, kind of thing. But having having a mortgage, as weird as it sounds, it does protect in some instances on things like that, because we're fairly limited on that. If you have especially if you have a common name, that's really what happened. You know, her last name's Willis. It's not like a crazy name. You know, our name's Richardson. There's a bunch of Richardsons. So things like that are definitely something that we're considering looking at. Well, there's not a lot of Mings probably, but you know. At the same time, we had 2 Metro Atlanta real estate agents that pled guilty to mortgage fraud conspiracy. I think one got 2.5 years, the other one's still yet to be sentenced, kind of thing. And so these were realtors or real estate agents. They worked for a builder, and what they did was they went in and they knew how to defraud the mortgage company. And so they went in, they made up fake bank statements. They corresponded those bank statements with fake employment records, fake payments, everything. These people are terrible. So all in all, there's about 12 people that got indicted through this whole thing, charged with different times, things like that. So it's not a great thing to go on, but I'm glad people like this are out of our industry, to be real honest with you, kind of thing. But if you see things, if you're wondering what went on, like really their entire thing was to defraud the mortgage companies. They worked for the builder. The builder wasn't actually part of it. The mortgage company wasn't part of it. So, but they had a whole set of folks doing things behind the scenes, that kind of stuff. So just to kind of keep you in the know on that one. Realtor Days at the Dome is coming up. And so if you are a realtor, please
take advantage of it.
Yeah, it's actually a lot of fun.
This is part of your membership. It is free. 9 out of 10, your membership actually will provide bus.
Yeah.
For you to meet at the member board, and right over there, they'll take you there and take you
back.
home.
No parking, that kind of stuff.
And it's really cool to mingle with other realtors and see what your legislative is doing in our industry. So I'm a member of RPAC and committee, and also I believe in it because anything we do is for the benefit of our industry and our clients.
Well, this year it's a 3-day event, but in the past it's been 2 years or 2 days. And so the third day is going to be a housing forum in there as well.
I urge you guys go and check it out.
There's a lot of folks like what benefits do I get out of being a realtor? Well,
this is one of them.
This is one of those, and being able to, like as a real estate agent, are you going to go in and meet with state legislators on be able to have easy access? We all go in and we can actually talk to the legislators, the folks that are going on here in the state. And then it's also being done at the national level. We don't normally take advantage of the ones at the national level, but we do take advantage of the ones at the state. Last year, this is kind of what they did last year, so 9 realtor supported bills passed into law. They were able to hold back 5 that we opposed. We currently have 11 realtors that are in the General Assembly, and then we held 18 state meetings, kind of thing. And so you can see that realtor is very, very active, and there's a reason.
And you need to be active in your community. If you're not, let me caution you, because there might be changes that adversely affect our industry. And you may not have a voice if you don't participate.
Yeah, one other thing that came out from, because we went to the GAR conference kind of thing. We had to do it virtual this year, but one thing that came out is for teams, team rules have the team rule changes has been sent to the governor for signature. So that's coming through, and there's not going to be a grandfather period here. So you got to make sure there, because teams have to designate a team leader to their broker. Team names have to have one of the following words in there: team, group, partners, or associates. Now there's some words you can't use in a team, such as brokerage, broker, firm, Inc., LLC,
corporation, company, or incorporated. Because that gives the public a false identification who you are when you hang your license with a broker.
So also, they're looking at additional education requirements for brokers. And I think it's a great idea,
because
very much
education, is the key to our success in our market. If you're not being educated or educating, then you're missing out.
Also at that, Christina Chow gave an update kind of thing about professional standards and ethics. And so we had more ethics complaints last year than ever before, kind of thing. Now, of those, the most common ones, first thing was saying bad things about other realtors
in social media. Don't do that, y'all.
Honestly, let's face it, who's some of the ones that we said bad things about? Zillow. Zillow is a realtor member, kind of thing. And so you can't bash other real estate folks, kind of thing. And then the other one that came through was telling consumers that they could have gotten a better deal on a house, kind of thing. And so those are the 2 most common ethics complaints out there at the moment. If your brokerage is a member of FMLS, then FMLS is rolling out a new program called One Home. It's coming to FMLS, and it's sort of like, like in Georgia MLS, we have Georgia's websites and things like that. It's along those lines, where it's basically taking being able to engage and do search with clients. So if your brokerage doesn't have a a search platform, if you don't have, that kind of stuff, this might be a good option for you. So
It's like the collaboration for Georgia
yeah,
MLS.
very similar. Only,
program.
in my opinion, it looks slicker, kind of thing. So not bashing it, not any of that
It's
kind of
prettier.
stuff. So single family rents posted record growth here in the Atlanta area. We are 13.9% year over year, and that's on top of 12% growth the year before. And so we are seeing rents are continuing to grow.
The gap typically is anywhere from $500 to up to $1,500 in
Yep.
what you would have paid for a mortgage, depending on the price of home.
But a lot of real estate folks are also landlords, and so first of all, don't be fooled by occupancy rates right now, right? Because the top reason why renters move, the number one reason is saving money. And so understand that even with property, the prices of things going on, as we see property starting to level off, as we're going to move back into that 3 to 5% property price appreciation, even now at 10% growth, it's better to buy than it is to rent. And so that's going to continue to be driving not only regular housing, but that's going to, if we keep seeing rent rates go up the way it is, which on one hand, I'm not for it, but by the same token, that does keep folks wanting to move into their own property kind of thing. Builders are kind of scared right now. There's a lot of stuff going on in builders. They're seeing a lot of rising increases in just a ton of different costs kind of thing. Now they started at they had a 9-month high on the number of new construction starts, but home builder confidence is dropping right now. They don't know what to do with the interest rates going on. So that concerns me a little bit as we see.
If you think about it, if a buyer could have afford right now, start a home new construction, it's about $350 here in Atlanta. So with the current interest rate, they're able to qualify, but with the increased, interest rate, now they're looking at maybe $325, $300. So you can see with the rising of the price in construction, builder can't make money with that kind of interest rate. So that's what's got him pausing a little bit.
Yeah. So I think we're going to see start slow down on that a little bit too. What's the most important feature when buyers are considering the perfect kitchen? Number one, efficiency and functionality. So that whole kitchen triangle thing that we all learned about years and years ago, that's a really big idea. The overall design, cleanliness of it, that's an interesting one, because if you go into a house and the kitchen's dirty, I'm telling you, that's a big downturn right now. And so organized, cost effectiveness, all those are really important figures. Sorry, I'm trying to rush a little bit. So the IRS is requiring selfies to access online taxes. So, and I know this is not necessarily real estate related, but I am going to encourage, all my real estate folks out there kind of thing. You need to go ahead and set up an account at id.me. Okay, IDME is what is the thing you need to do, and you don't want to wait to do it. The site's already getting hammered by a lot of folks. Tax time is out here and upon us, and so we really need to be looking to try and.
What does it do?
What?
The site.
Oh, because you have to go in and you have to have a photo ID now in order to file your taxes online. And so this helps you get that photo ID. So basically you got to take a selfie and then you got to get it all set up on there at the same time. So you can't just do, this is my email, this is my password. Now you got to do email, password, then you have to do some sort of facial recognition on there as well.
Kind of scary.
It's interesting kind of thing for sure.
Well, it's protection, but at the same time, they also identify who you are.
Couple of things before we wrap up. So OfferPad's market cap slipped below $1 billion out on Wall Street. That just breaks my heart. Sorry. I mean that, I don't wish the demise. I don't wish the demise of anyone kind of thing. But the thing is that in an appreciating market, the iBuyers have been really, really very, very aggressive. But now Open Door has a 6.2% drop. Just in Wednesday, they're 20% down year over year. OfferPad is down 65% year over year kind of thing, and Redfin is down about 60% year over year. As this market changes, what are we going to see happen with the iBuyers? I don't know. Zillow already got out. and which obviously was a good idea because they've done nothing but lose money. All the iBuyers have done nothing but lose money in an attempt to try and change the way folks buy real estate. And now real estate agents are more used, realtors are more in demand than at any point in our history, kind of thing. So I don't wish their demise, but it wouldn't break my heart probably.
Well, it's like any, well, I hate to say this, not gimmick, but it's like any program. When it first comes out, it sounds nice and pretty until it saturates the market. And when the clients are understanding what this program is all about, and then they look at alternatives and looking at what's really here and what's not.
So education wise kind of thing. Tomorrow, I'm going to be teaching business planning for the real estate professional at DeKalb Board of Realtors Women's Council. Also, we have a virtual advertising, personal branding, online marketing out there on Wednesday. License law for agents and brokers by my lovely bride here is going to be teaching that on Wednesday. And then I'm teaching again on Thursday for the Fayette board on there. And then we also have a
That's not me, just saying.
No, that one isn't. There's another. Okay. Yeah, you're on there.
I'm teaching guard contract, Wednesday. Dana's actually teaching virtually a license law. So if y'all need a law course, please take care.
And that was going to be virtually. And then we have an in-office thing happening in our airport office, Tax 101.
Hey, you guys, this is important because a lot of you make really good money and don't know how to prepare your tax properly. And what happened is that you get caught at year end and you're owing all this money and you're not sure what to do with it. So be prepared. Do talk to these tax folks. I think is a great thing.
Yep. So that's all we have for this week. We hope that you guys have a wonderful week. And if we can be of any service, please call, text, smoke signals. We answer it all. Have a great week.
Happy Monday.